Hello and welcome to another edition of the Mayor Dan Paletko Show. I'm very pleased to have as my guest today the new leadership of our City Council. So Denise and Bill, thank you.
Hi.
I should say Councilwoman, Councilman, Council Chair, and Council Vice Chair. Thank you for being guests on my show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for the invitation.
One of the reasons I thought it might be interesting to have this show is that the public could get to better know each of you. So let me start with you, Council
Okay.
Chair.
Sure.
A little bit of your background. I know that you do a lot of volunteer work
Yes,
on
I do.
Meals to Wheels, which is very complimentary. But so public service is not necessarily new to you.
No, I've done it since I was 5 years old. I started out with my aunt years ago with teaching children Sunday school at a local church, and it just continued from there on.
Mm-hmm. So was it a surprise to you that you did so well in the election, or did you kind of have a feeling you were going to do pretty good?
I never take anything for granted. I was very pleased with the results, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, you campaigned very hard. As
Yeah.
first timer, both of you, I'm very complimentary because it's hard to get elected first time, but both of you did very well. To our new Vice Chair, Mr. Bazzi, you are also an individual who has a lot of public service. In fact, I was very honored to go where you became, is it commander of the Veterans Council in Dearborn?
Yes, sir. I was actually elected also. It's an elected position to the Dearborn Allied War Veterans Council, and that overlooks at all the different posts, that could be the American League, the American Legion, of all the posts in Dearborn.
Mm-hmm.
So the council actually overlooks at all of them, and there's commanders from every post. They're actually part of the council as well. So it's a one-year term.
Well, congratulations. We're very proud that you have that. But service and military service in particular, I kind of feel you're a hero, and you did you are a Marine and
Yes,
and served how many terms?
I served 21 years with the Marines. I retired from the Marine Corps. I actually decided to retire when I made a decision to run for council for Dearborn Heights.
Okay.
So served 21 years.
So both of you have done a lot of public service in different capacities, but
Right.
have served this nation and have served the residents of Dearborn Heights. So we thank both of you for all your service. Now, you've retired council chair from AT&T, was it?
Correct.
So you had a full career with the...
With the phone company, yes. It was Michigan Bell originally when I hired in. So, yeah, and then I also had a real estate license for 19 of those years while I worked at AT&T. I did real estate at night and AT&T during the day.
Mm-hmm. Now you're pretty much a full-time councilwoman then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm dedicating all my time to being a council chairperson.
Plus your volunteer things that you do
Oh,
at
yeah.
senior centers.
I'm still doing the Meals on Wheels. I do still volunteer for the different churches that need me.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me busy.
Okay. And to our vice chair, you're currently employed at Ford Motor Company?
Yes, I'm a design and release engineer at Ford Motor Company. I've been with Ford a little over 18 years now.
Okay.
And I work in Dearborn as well.
Yeah, and I'm a Ford retiree, so one person always pointed out to me, they said, when they would ask us where we worked, they said, you guys all use the possessive, you say Fords, you don't say Ford Motor Company. And I said, well, it's kind of like having a parent or something. They do take good care of us, and so that's fantastic. What type of goal, have you established goals or objectives that you'd like to accomplish, Council Chair?
Well, as far as city council goals, I'd like to see everyone work together for the residents. And that's my main goal is if it's for the residents, then we're going to work towards it.
Mm-hmm. And I think I feel very comfortable with both of you. I was happy that you got appointed to the positions you're in. And my office and my staff will be very cooperative. I sense that deep commitment to our residents and making the city better in both of you. And so it's easy to partner with you to accomplish that. So
Yeah.
I'm glad. How about yourself, Mr. Bazzi?
My goal is from day one, I wanted to serve the residents, and as you, I mean, we talked earlier. Serving 21 years with the Marines, serving the people. I want to do the same thing with the residents of Dearborn Heights. I want to serve the people, and my goal is to work as one team.
Yes.
Not just the council members, but with you as well, and with all your department heads and also your employees in the city. I want all of us to work as one team, one goal, one mission.
Yes.
And just to make our city, as talked about at the last council meeting, is the city of future. And that's what we want to do, is make sure that it's a good city for people to live in, and and to also attract more residents to actually move into Dearborn Heights, and the people that moved out of Dearborn Heights to come back to Dearborn Heights.
Yeah, one of the things I would like to do in the next few months is to do some 5-year forecasting, goals and plans with the council, and then we would be able to formulate a mission, as you will, a desire of what direction we want to go to, and then we just all work. And I sense from both of you, it's not matter who gets the credits, it's just that it gets done.
Absolutely.
And that's where I am too. We all can take credit for it, we'll all have input in it, but the key is that we satisfy. One of the difficult things that I'm always struggling with, and I certainly would like to have both of your inputs, not right now at the show, but always wanting to make sure we provide good service, and to make sure that any ideas and suggestions you have that will allow us to maximize for each tax dollars the benefits and services we're giving residents. So I look forward to your backgrounds, your experience, and thoughts in those particular areas. Is there any particular one area that is really you're looking to make some kind of an impact on, particular department or?
Well, it's communication between the citizens and City Hall and all the departments. My background in customer service is make the people happy, and we need to listen to them and see what they want and see what we can do for the residents of Dearborn Heights.
Very good. How about you, Mr. Bazzi?
One of the things that I was actually talking to a lot of residents, walking through a lot of neighborhoods, talking to a lot of people, I've noticed that there's a big disconnect. Still, like Denise mentioned, miscommunication. I want to bridge the gap between the residents and the city by having something like a checklist or some type of form that if somebody has an issue, to fill out this form, and it gets properly logged in the city, and so their voices can be heard, and so they know somebody's actually working on their issues, and they feel like they're part of the city instead of like nobody's listening, and it's not like nobody's listening. Sometimes, I said, there's miscommunication, or maybe somebody, like today, I had a call from a resident. He was looking for a particular business, and he didn't know how to look it up, so he called me direct, and I called the city clerk and got some answers for him. So that's some of the stuff that we need to work on, is some type of a checklist or a form that they can fill out. Maybe it could be on the city website. They can download the form, and it goes into one area. Then that person routes it to the right people, but it gets logged and it gets tracked of every issue and be resolved in a timely manner.
Yeah, there's probably nothing more frustrating than if, let's say that you want a tree trimmed, and if you call and somebody says, and I heard this too when I was walking in the campaign, and somebody said, well, we got you on the list. Well, that doesn't help necessarily, because where am I in the list? Am I number 2 or am I number 702?
Right.
And can you give me some kind of an estimate as to when you might be able to satisfy it? So I look forward to working with you to come up with a means of doing that, and I think we can always improve on customer service, and I would be the first to say we do need to improve on it.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you willing to work with us also, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody, including, like I said, everybody at the city.
Yes, I am too.
Yep, and that's fantastic. One of the things that I take great pride in is both our fire and our police departments. They're just remarkable departments. Have you had an opportunity to acclimate yourself to either one or both?
I just toured the North End Fire Department a couple days ago, and went with a group of senior citizens through there. They showed us all their new equipment, where they sleep, where the new mattresses are at, where they cook, and where they basically live. It was really nice to see everything.
Yeah.
And a great group of guys, very nice group of guys.
Very nice.
Yes.
Since I live off of Beach Daily, I see a lot of the runs, and they're very busy. And we added
They
a
did say
rescue,
that.
which we thought that one of the things we debated, do we really need the extra? We needed it because of the amount of runs, and it's just to make sure. Because the last thing, if you have some kind of a illness or need rescue, is you don't want to be waiting 5 minutes.
Yes.
You want them there immediately. So that was funny. How about you, Mr. Bazzi?
It's funny that you asked, Mayor, because we had an issue here earlier today in the studio that the fire department responded. There was a smoke smell. I thought it was burnt wire, and probably close to a dozen firefighters showed up, and they were very professional. It was amazing the way they worked together. They were very professional, and they just came here and went down to business trying to find the root cause. And also, we had the Toys for Tots in December.
Yes,
In
yes.
December, had the pleasure, the honor to work with both the fire department and the police department, and it's amazing how they both. First, it was the firefighters took the challenge against Dearborn with the Toys for Tots drive, but the police department, the police chief Gavin, he decided, like, we're not going to be left out. We're not going to leave our fire department on their own. So they came through and they worked together as one team. I was just amazed how they were working together and how they're very professional.
Yeah, I compliment and brag about to other mayors the fact that, because I'll hear comments about how they have disagreements and arguments and competition between police and fire, and I tell them, I said, no, Chief Brogan of the fire department and Chief Gavin from the police department, they are good friends. They work together, and that's actually is really beneficial for the city of Dearborn Heights to have that cooperative spirit. And I do want to compliment you at Toys for Tots. I think Dearborn won this year, but we're going to beat them next year.
Well, we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure we beat them. But for the size of Dearborn Heights, we did pretty good.
Oh, he did great.
And both departments, the fire department and the police department, they a lot of officers and firemen, they actually came up with their own money to buy toys, and somebody from the city hall as well. They had pitched in some money.
Yep.
And they bought tons of toys as well. So I think we did pretty good for the first year.
I thought you did very well.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you're going to learn about our employees. They really have deep hearts in regards to our residents. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, when people have had disasters, flooding, maybe a fire at their home, it's not been uncommon for our employees to actually go in their own pockets and help these families, even though there's agencies and stuff to do that, but they just feel, and it really doesn't come across when we have applicants come in, but we've been very fortunate to hire people who really care. Yes. So what's been the most difficult? Do you feel real easy with Robert's Rules of Order, or is you're doing fine?
It's work in progress. It's going to get better.
Yeah.
It just takes a little practice. It's the second meeting was better than the first, and I expect the third one to be even better yet.
Yeah, it wasn't disastrous,
it just takes practice to get into the rhythm of how to do the actual meeting, and I feel more comfortable with it now, and I will get even better in the future.
Sure. Oh yeah. And we do offer through the Michigan Municipal League and even outside, but any classes that you want to take, I would certainly recommend.
Yes, we already planned on that. Bill and I were in touch with them yesterday
Good.
as far as scheduling us to go. So.
Excellent, because they do offer the thing. It's hard to for new members, but there's some basic core knowledge that you need to obtain, and they go over a lot of that in the seminar. Although not all communities are set up the same. We're a strong mayor form of government. In some communities, the council is is where the power lies. But when our city fathers drew the charter up, they used Detroit, Dearborn as examples, and so Livonia, some of those other cities, Taylor, Westland, we all have the same basic form of government.
Okay.
Unlike when I go and deal with some of the downriver communities, they do have a mayor, but he's like the chairman of the council.
Okay.
And so his power extends to that. Many of them have city managers who actually run the day-to-day operation, and then the 7 of them, council members choose that. So there's all that kind of things that'll come into play. But I think you were both good selections, and
Well,
I think you're
Thank
going to
you.
both do very well. So I'm telling you, I expect good things from both of you, and I know it's going to come.
It will, definitely. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but we'll show everybody, it'll work out in the end.
And you'll learn phone calls and emails and all those messages, they never stop coming.
Already got them. Already got them. Not a problem whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just part of the job, so to speak, and
Yeah.
and I know both of you, like myself, we like people, so it's like I will occasionally have somebody that will see me at Panera or something come up, and they go, "Well, I'm sorry, I said, no, that's fine."
I
Because-
saw you there
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, man.
and I go,
Yeah.
no, it's like I'll eat my dinner and I got company now, okay? And it's usually, there's only been a handful of times where I've had somebody who was a little bit pushy or out of control.
Right.
But in all the years that I've given public service, it's very seldom. So you occasionally run into somebody like that.
I've already found when I go grocery shopping that I have to add extra time on because I always run into people that recognize me, and that's great. I'm glad.
Yes.
And I'm willing to talk to anybody anytime. I'm very approachable, so that's just fine with me. I just kind of laugh and say, I got to give myself an extra half an hour.
I'll share a story with you. When it gets into reading month, you'll get opportunities. Some of the school districts will invite us to go read. So one of the things I've gone to the classes, and I said, now, I try to spend some time where we get to know each other on a one-on-one basis. And so we talk about their pets or different things, and they'll open up. So I tell the kids at the end of each class, now we're friends, so if you see me out and you're with your parents, we're friends, bring your parents up and introduce them. So I kept seeing this one kid. Now, you can't remember everybody you've seen in these classes, but I kind of like, you can tell when somebody's staring at you. And so the mom came up and she says, my son here says that he knows you, and I don't know whether to believe him or not. And so I looked at him, and I said, oh, yeah, we're friends. And a big smile came on his face. And so he introduced me to all of his family members. So he took that, and I told him, I said, no, afterwards I told him, I said, no, and he was so proud that he was a friend of the mayor, and he introduced me to his 2 siblings and his mom and dad.
That's nice.
But that, we're a local community. Even though we have 60,000 people almost, we're still kind of a small town.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what really makes us great, and I don't want to ever see that lost. When people can't approach any of us and talk to us, then we've lost what is, I think, special in Dearborn Heights.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I will tell you, you'll probably, when you do some traveling to other cities and stuff, to get to anybody that's an elected official, sometimes you have to go upstairs and through 4 doors to get to anybody, and that's not true in the Heights.
No,
and I take personal pride in the fact that that's not the case. But even I, as an elected official, I'm like, whoa, how does anybody ever reach this person? It's like the king of the mountain.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're always the first one on the left.
Yeah, first one on the
Well,
left.
yeah, and the door's always open.
Yes, it is.
So that's nice.
And I just tell people I can't always be there during all the office hours like we're doing this show today, but And I do like to go out and personally see things, so, which I know both of you are the same way. So
Yeah.
I might be out at a resident's home or looking at something in a particular building, but I do like to keep that observation and closeness. And I certainly encourage all of you to, both of you, but I know that's in your character.
That's just the way I am, and I know Bill is too.
I know. So
So
I'm looking forward to working together and serve. Is there anything that we didn't touch that you might like to mention, or?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. One of the things, like I said, I just want, all the residents, if they do have issues, whichever council member they feel comfortable with, to go ahead and call that person. Or they can go on the website, the council website, and just click on the name, send us emails. I'd love to hear if there's any issues, any concerns, and everybody else the same way, any council member that they want to talk to, or if they want to talk to all of us,
Yeah.
just reach out and let us know.
we're very approachable.
Yes.
Everybody that's on council now, we have a good council. Everybody is approachable and willing to work with anyone in any way they could.
And also, one of the things I'd like to see is, all the residents they feel the same way, that they're being taken care of. It doesn't matter what part of the city they're from.
Exactly.
That's a big
Yeah.
goal of mine.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Some people perceive a regionalism and that some areas get more than the other, and we keep trying to assure them that is not the case. There isn't anything in the budget that says, okay, this has got to be spent here or there. It's for everybody, and we do. It's a very good point, and we do want to work, and hopefully together we can change that, and everybody feels that they're part of the city and they get to participate in everything in the city. And maybe that's a good message to end with, but
Yes.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things I told people when I was walking is, once the new council takes the chair, basically just come to the council meeting, see what it's like, and even if you have nothing to talk about, just come and listen, and meet the council members, and maybe afterwards, if you want to interact with some of us, would love to do that.
okay,
So,
very good, very good. Well, new council chair Denise Malinowski-Maxwell. It's a tongue twister.
I know it
but
is.
I'm Polish, so I
Try
can
growing
do the
up with that name.
Yeah, that's unfair to you with all those letters.
Yeah, I know. But that's all right. I'm used to it now. I've had it how many years? I won't say though. How
Okay,
many?
you don't have to.
21. That's
Yeah,
the magic
okay.
number.
There you go. And Council Vice Chair Bill Bazzi, thank you for coming today and being a guest, and we look forward to making the city a better place with you on the council.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. And I want to thank all the residents who have watched this show, and won't be long that we have another edition of the Mayor Dan Paletko Show.